Hey, we're Finji, a collaborative game studio in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we're making Usual June, a weird and cool game with weird and cool characters, hanging out in weird and cool places, doing weird and cool stuff. And since we're all about putting weird and cool and creative stuff out into the world, we thought we'd bring you along as we work on the game, sharing some stuff from behind the scenes as development continues. We have a combat-focused demo available on Steam right now and throughout October. So for this first episode, let's talk to the team about combat.
As the combat evolved over the last few years, we put a strong focus on the controls being easy to learn, even though the gameplay is very modern. So we were looking at gameplay in action games from the last decade, but thinking about gamepad controls from the decades before that, and putting those together in fun ways. That led us to create a combat system that is very spatial and includes a lot of creative items. A spatial combat system means player and enemy positions matter a lot from moment to moment. There's a big emphasis on dodging and dashing. Every enemy and arena are designed with this in mind. For example, these high damage projectiles from the demo have a special wide shape and a carefully tuned speed that encourages the player to take advantage of the invincible part of their dodge. Creative combat items make it so that this small fight from the start of the demo can be completed in very different ways depending on what items you use. My favorite thing about the modern action games that inspired us is the way battles can include improvisation and creativity in the moment. Giving the different combat items a wide range of abilities brings those qualities into our game in a fun new way.
Combat in Usual June is fast-paced and very responsive. This is the first keyword that I have in mind when developing the combat effects. The player has to feel rewarded for every single action they take. June's attack animation is very snappy, as she performs a 3-hit combo. This effect is very recurring in game, so it had to be crafted with a lot of care and attention to detail. We use June's jacket color and the range color as base of most of her visual effects. As you can see, playing around with the saturation of every patch of her jacket gives a nice contrast between all colors. The leading edge of the slash also follows the shape of the range. And if you got curious about the big range, yes, we do have a separate effect for that one. It's a very powerful slash and even shoots out petals when you strike. This one is very satisfying to use. Her base dash is very sparkly and uses just about the same variety of colors in her slash. And as she builds up speed, she creates a shockwave around her and tears the ground open, revealing a plane to another dimension.
When working on the combat animations for Usual June, we've been trying to keep to a single design philosophy that basically boils down to, can I do this move myself? June is, for all intents and purposes, a usual girl. She's not a superhero with super speed or super strength, and she's certainly not spending her day-to-day life fighting crazy crab monsters in other dimensions. So it's been important to keep her moves as grounded in reality as possible, but with a touch of magical flair. This can be most easily shown with June's heavy wrench attack, which can be strongly referenced to a powerful baseball swing. But we can see her lack of combat experience in more subtle ways during her wrench combo attacks. Inexperienced fighters will often become unbalanced when they fight, so much so that they will easily topple over on their own. And we can actually see this a bit with June. She's throwing so much of her body into her attacks that she's constantly trying to catch her balance after each swing in order to keep from stumbling or even fully falling over. It has definitely been an animation challenge to try to keep the gameplay fun, fluid, and responsive, but also subtly hint to the player that this is not a normal experience for her.
So, what do you think of June's moves? Don't forget, you can check out the combat yourself in our demo on Steam until the end of October. Want to support our work even more? The absolute best way to do that is to wishlist the game on Steam and tell your friends to do the same. Just send them this video. I'll leave some other ways to lend a hand in the description below. And before you head off to whatever corner of the internet you like to spend your time in, leave us a comment on what else you'd like to hear us yap about. We love making this game, and we can't wait to keep sharing stuff with you.